Welcome to the Southern Homesteading Podcast.
I'm Chuck.
And I'm Barbie.
And come along as we discuss our homesteading adventures on the Bowser Ranch. On this episode, we're going to discuss new additions to the homestead.
2 new additions.
One for me.
And one for me.
Although mine costs a little more.
Yeah.
But mine does more work.
Mine's much cuter.
Dang it, you got me there. So we added some new things. One of the things we added was a tractor, a 25 horsepower John Deere tractor. It's going to help us get a lot more done on the property. With my shoulder surgery and our little tractor, it would take me forever to do stuff. Mm-hmm. But I would even get it done faster than with a wheelbarrow. I mean, not would with a wheelbarrow, but now I'll get done even faster. So the journey for a tractor actually started probably about 2 years ago. Oh, by the way, if you hear clickety-clacketing or chomping, the dogs are eating in the background.
And walking around.
They had no concept that even though we got a bright light that says recording and a flashing red light, they're not paying attention. So the journey for the tractor started about 2 years ago. And because I realized pretty quickly that we can get a lot more done. But we live a lifestyle where we want to not incur new debt.
Yes.
So we always kind of decided that we would not purchase a tractor until we had the cash for it. But that didn't stop me from looking. I've been looking at tractors for 2 years. And my original goal was to buy a used tractor. But I quickly realized the tractors fell into one of 2 categories. Either they were between 30 and 50 years old and running about $3,000 or $4,000 with no loader on the front, or 15 to 17 grand that was only a year or 2 old and had a loader on the front. So we kind of put that off and put it off, and then finally, but I guess I don't know if it's because of COVID or if they had that already, but several of the tractor manufacturers had 0 interest, 0 down payment. Mm-hmm. And so we opted to go look at John Deere first. So we went over to John Deere. Well, I actually, without telling my wife, I filled out a credit application, got pre-approved before we even got there, just to see if we could do it, And so we went over and looked at them, and we talked to the guy over there. His name was Cameron. I was kind of apprehensive. I was expecting a used car salesman wanting to sell a tractor.
And it was far from that.
Far from that. He was very taking his time with us and educating us, because I told him right off the bat, because he asked us what we wanted, and I said, we don't know. We never purchased a tractor before. So he asked us what size property do we have and what did we anticipate doing with the tractor. And there was 2 of them. There's a 25 horsepower and a 30 horsepower. Mm-hmm. But when we talked further, the advantage that the 30 horsepower had just didn't justify the extra cost.
And he pointed that out. So
we had to negotiate a price, and I tried negotiating like you would with a used car, and that didn't quite work so well, because the price is the price when it comes to tractors, especially in today's environment, because right now everybody's moving to the country and everybody's buying a tractor, so it's kind of hard to negotiate price when they could just pass on you and the next guy will be in 5 minutes later to buy one at full retail.
I think we still got a fair price.
We did. We actually got a gently used tractor. And when I said it's used, it was still new. It was 2019. It only had 3 hours on it or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he actually had a term for it, but I don't remember what it was. And so we ended up buying it, and we've already done some things around the house with it. We've got almost 20 hours on it now.
We've done a lot of things around the house.
True, we have. We had a load of mulch delivered, which is about 18 cubic yards, and I literally moved it and spread it in 1 hour. Normally, that would have taken me
at least 3 weekends.
3 weekends, because I can only, with the old system, with the Craftsman lawnmower / wannabe tractor, and the little trailer on the back of that, I could do about 3 loads with that before my shoulder would hurt, and then it'd take me a day or 2 to recover.
And we're not spring chickens anymore either.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm a spring chicken. I'm a young chicken. And so it's actually done a lot. We actually had it last weekend in the back area, leveling out where the pigs used to be. And I say used to be because they got sent to the processor.
They went to freezer camp.
Freezer camp. We know that some people who might listen to this may not be meat eaters, they might be vegans, so we're trying to be sensitive there. But we have a farm, we grow our own animals, so that's going to happen.
We love our animals.
We do absolutely love our animals. It was a hard day. It was a hard day to send them to the processor. It was a hard day picking up the meat because you realize that was your, I don't want to say pets, but you do get attached to them. The only way not to get attached to them is to store them on the other end of the property and only go down there and feed them. But what fun is there in that? We wanted to get to know them and stuff. Tonight, we actually have pork chops.
They were delicious, too.
Yes, they were delicious. And then Barbie also rendered down all of the lard.
The fat
into lard. So we now have 15, 20.
Quart-sized jars, yeah.
Yeah. So we're set with lard for a while. No more buying grapeseed oil or anything else. We cook on predominantly cast iron pans, so it works really well. We miss the pigs. But
And we're thankful for them.
absolutely. Every time we get to eat that. Matter of fact, when we brought them home, not the pigs, but the processed meat.
Okay.
Apologize for that. The fan was running, and this is also our office during the day, and so sometimes we get kind of immune to the sounds. And then, of course, there's Sasha, clickety-clackety, clackety-clackety, clack.
She wants to be on the podcast.
Say hi, Mama Girl. Yeah, Mama's our 11-year-old German Shepherd. If you watch our YouTube videos, you see her. She's the one who's we call her the princess. Yeah, Sasha, please lay down. So she's 11 years old. She's had 2 seizures, and she's on pretty heavy medication, and we're hoping she stays around a little bit longer. Now Nico's coming up.
Go lay down.
Lay down, Bubba.
Go lay down.
And there comes Charlie. There's just going to be noise in this podcast.
Luckily, there's a lot of dog lovers out there listening to this. So
Yes, the dogs are present and accounted for. Charlie Bug, Mama Bear, and Bubby Boy. They're all here. Then we also got another new addition.
we got a cow. His name is Duke. We believe he's an Angus cross.
But that's not a Jersey. Oh, I thought we were looking at jerseys.
Well, we decided we wanted to make sure that we wanted a cow first before we went and spent or invested in a milk cow for the farm. Because jerseys are not cheap.
No, they're not. How did we find this one?
I found this one on
Facebook?
Facebook, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it was a Facebook marketplace. It was one of the cow. It was a Dexter
Group.
a
on
Dexter
Facebook.
group because she thought it was a Dexter, but it's not a Dexter.
So-
But he's cute.
So we drove about 45 minutes down to their farm to go get him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in a pen. I think he was by himself.
He was.
But there was other cows in a pen right next to him.
Yeah.
So he was there to be able to social him. And he was kind of scared of us. I mean, he wouldn't.
Well, he didn't know us then.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. Is he was kind of, we had a hard. Me and the owner of the farm, the husband, had a hard time getting him up in the trailer
Yeah.
because we'd almost drag him. And the first time we brought him home, I'd almost drag him. That's not the way it is now, but
No.
so he's an Angus cross, and his name is Duke.
And we bottle fed him at first. He's recently weaned, so he's on grass now and hay. We'll
So-
have to check the hay when we get
No,
off of this.
After the podcast, I have to go out and get married.
Yes.
They need to because I
Okay.
noticed that when I was feeding him. And it's funny because he's Saunders.
He does.
He's like he's got this
Swag.
swag. Yeah.
Or is it swag? No, not swag. He sways.
Yeah. And when he's happy about something, he does this little
Happy
dance
dance.
thing. And like from when we move, so we rotate them just like we do with the goats. We move our electric fencing and rotate them to different parts of the yard. And when it's a new area the first day, and he realizes he's going to new pasture,
He prances around
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's fun.
runs a little bit. And
yeah. Barbie has him halter trained, meaning there's this halter lead that she puts on him and walks him out there.
Yep.
Just between you and me, she doesn't none of this. I never use it. He follows me. I just kind of tap my leg and he comes. He's Saunders. He doesn't come running, but he just kind of da da
Yes.
da 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 da.
But why do I use it? Because he's a bull, and he's going to get a lot bigger, and we have to be able to control him. So that's why I use it. We had to watch some YouTube videos, though, to figure out how to halter train him. Because at first, he wouldn't. I mean, you basically were just pulling, and we didn't want that. So then we found out he likes apples
And cabbage.
and cabbage. He likes cabbage. But we kind of coaxed him along wearing the halter into a pasture with apples, and then that we only had to do that really 2 times, I think.
Yeah.
And then after that, he realized when he gets his halter put on that he's going to go to a new place with grass. So he goes right with us now.
Or he's coming back to get fed in the evening.
He sleeps with our goats. We put him up in the same pen at night with the goats so that coyotes don't bother him.
When we first got him, he had Scours. And so
about a day or two after we got him.
Yeah, we gave him medicine. He's recovered from that real quick. So our goals with him, we don't know yet. I'm going to tell you right now, if we do decide to harvest him, it's going to be super hard.
It's going to be very hard.
He is.
We're getting so attached to him.
He is so stinking cute. We're thinking, and of course this may change, that we're going to use him as our breeder. He's kind of like a beta test to see if we really do want a cow and how easy is it to
And he's
maintain.
helping us grow the grass because we don't have enough grass really right now to support a milk cow, a dairy cow. But for a meat cow, we can feed him hay. And we do feed him hay in addition to the grass. But the grass is already growing from him just being in there and fertilizing it. And then we move him to a new section and we spread it. And the chickens help to compost it. And we've got a good system going.
Yeah, we do. We just got to watch where you're walking when you're out in the yard.
Yes.
Because, I try to get them all picked up, but sometimes, there's a surprise one. We also just did a video on our YouTube channel. Make sure you go there and check us out. The 5 knots you should know as a homesteader. Now that's kind of hard to really talk about on a podcast because you really want to see it, but the 5 knots are a clove hitch, a trucker's knot, a square knot, a bowline, and a storage knot. So those are the 5 knots that I go through, and make sure you watch that video because we started shooting the video. Earlier in that morning, we were working on the rabbit hutch. We're building a new rabbit hutch, and we're going to move the rabbits out of where they are now, putting a roof on it. And we got to a point where we finished the roof. All that needed to be done was painting and building the actual cages, which we hadn't had the materials yet for. So we decided to stop because it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Came in, ate lunch, and decided, okay, well, neither one of us felt like doing anything else heavy labor-wise for the day. So we decided to go ahead and shoot the video on those 5 knots. So we sat up on the back porch, and I swear literally within 2 minutes of setting up.
Or less.
Wasn't just a thunderstorm.
It was a bad storm.
Yeah, we had like 6 strikes of lightning. If you actually watch the video, I put up the map. They were all literally like almost in our backyard. So we had to actually take a break.
Yes.
They took a, 10, 15, 20-minute break, something like that.
I think it ended up being a couple hours, baby.
I don't think it was in a couple hours.
You fell asleep.
Okay. So then we came back out and started recording again. It's things the audience doesn't need to know. So we started filming again. And
it's the real us.
Exactly. And then we started filming again, and then some idiot on his motorcycle decided he wanted to rev it up and shoot up and down the street. And, of course, it had to be a rice burner. Couldn't be a Harley. I could deal with a potato. I could deal with that, but this
it was more like a bumblebee.
It was a ticked off bumblebee. He just wasn't happy. So we go through those knots. I actually throw in another one. I actually show you 6 knots. I won't tell you what that is, so you have to actually go watch the video. But so the storage knot one, that's one I think was most interesting because it's a way you can store a lot of rope without it being in a pile and getting all knotted up. And I actually show it, a 5-foot section of rope that I have in a storage knot. And I say, well, let's see how long this rope really is. And I really thought...
Watch the video to find out how long it is.
I thought it was 50 feet, but I was wrong. Let's just leave it at that.
You were wrong.
I was wrong.
You were way wrong.
Mark it down. Mark it down. Make a video of it. Store this on the internet somewhere. Chuck was wrong. Because it doesn't happen very often. But it's a great way to store a lot of rope. It works for extension cords, stuff like that. Evidently, it's also a knot that they use in macrame. No, what's the knitting? Yeah, Carol posted a comment on there that it's actually a crochet knot. Yeah, it's a crochet knot or something. I was like, okay, well, it works with extension cords and rope too. So we've been putting out YouTube videos. We just haven't been constant on the podcast. I need to get my wife excited about doing podcasts.
I don't like my voice.
I love your voice. If you love Barbie's voice, send her a message. Let her know that she has a nice, soothing voice. Fits perfect with the Southern Homesteading Podcast, baby.
I guess so.
You wouldn't want to have a Southern Homesteading
Just don't
podcast.
ask me to say, y'all come back now, you hear?
That might be our outro. That might be our outro.
No.
Yes.
Not happening.
Well, you wouldn't expect to be listening to a Southern Homesteading Podcast with somebody with a Jersey accent. You lose street credibility.
Like your Yankee accent?
Stop. I don't have a Yankee accent.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You do, baby.
Do not.
I love it.
If
though.
you think I have a Yankee accent, send me an email. Because I don't have a Yankee accent. So that concludes today's podcast, unless you have something else you wanted to say.
No, I think we covered it. We love our tractor. Her name is Georgia. We forgot to mention
Oh, yes.
that.
Her name is Georgia. And she is a John Deere. Well, now we're painting things green now all of a sudden.
Now I can wear the T-shirt
Yes.
and not be a poser.
My cousin, his son had bought a Yanmar tractor for like $900, and he refurbished it, rebuilt it and stuff. So he watched my videos, and he made a video, and he did as a shout out on his video.
Yeah.
And he had actually a good idea. He put a fire extinguisher on his roll bar. I was like, hey, that's a great idea. I need to put one on mine. I said, do they make fire extinguishers in John Deere green?
You can paint it.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. But then it wouldn't stick out as a fire extinguisher.
No.
Because you expect fire extinguishers to be red. So we're watching more videos of how we use these new implements and how Duke grows.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you watch the Instagram, because we put a lot of pictures of everything there.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, the Bowser Journal.
Yes. And if you have anything you want us to shoot or record or discuss, make sure you send that to us as well. Until then.
Yep. So until next time, live your own story.